Hello and welcome to Traffic Talks. My name is Pyro and I talk about what's going on in my life, usually with a lesson I've learned, some tips and tricks you can follow that help me, and a lot of laughs in each episode. If this sounds like something you would enjoy hearing, feel free to follow the podcast, subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and to see what I'm up to, you can check out my Instagram page linked below. Bye! Hello and welcome back to the podcast. I hope you are doing well. Kind of funny to be saying that after last week's whole saga and a half, but I will say I'm feeling much better. And one of the things that I always try to do is kind of pull myself towards myself by myself. And the emphasis is on by myself. Because generally everything tends to be a group effort when it comes to things that we do. Nothing is usually a solo endeavor, and that can have its benefits, but in this case, not. So that's what this episode is about. I took myself out for the day, and this is just what I did and why I did it. So let's jump in. Last week, Saturday, I took myself out. It was the 1st of April, which I tend to avoid going out the first and the last day of the month, just because it tends to be very crazy. So sometimes the end of the month will be like on a Friday or Saturday, or the beginning of the month like this past week will be on a Saturday, and the shops and malls are usually just chaotic. So I tend to avoid the first month or the last month of a month and go out in the middle weeks. But this weekend it was unavoidable just because I needed to get out and get out alone. Emphasis on alone. So no one came with me and it was good. I left the house at about 11:30, and for me that's early. I'm not the early bird. I was up at about 8:30 this particular morning, and my sister's like, "You awake?" Morning everyone else, but like, "You awake? Why are you up so early?" So it was unusual for me to be up that early, and I ended up enjoying myself a lot. I ran a few errands, I paid my accounts, did a bit of shopping, and sat down for lunch by myself. And by lunch, I mean I had this milkshake drink at Mug and Bean. I can't remember what the name of the concoction is called, but it's basically a lemon meringue drink in a glass that they top with whipped cream, broken pieces of meringue, grated lime zest, and tennis biscuit. And it sounds crazy, but it tastes so amazing. No regrets. It's a bit tangy, so unless you really like the lemony, soury tingle in your jaw, do not get it. But it was so good. And then I nibbled on the cauliflower bites in this sauce. It's one of the most amazing dishes on the menu. So yeah, that was what I did. And then I went home. And just those couple of hours to myself was amazing, because while I sat in Mug and Bean, I read my book and I just had a lot of time to myself. So aside from doing all those things, in the back of the mind, that hamster wheel was running full speed ahead. And I was thinking a lot to myself about what I actually want out of this entire experience, because nothing is ever done for no reason. My breakdown last week was for a reason. And that reason is some things are going to happen beyond my control. I am going to need to accept it, not assign blame, and move on to the next thing. Not to ignore the problem, but to move on with my life. Because I was very self-destructive last week in ways I'm not usually. Drinking on a weeknight in order to pass out is not good. It's what I did, and it is terrible. I'm lucky I don't really get hangovers or after effects of that nature, but drinking a whole lot of gin until I pass out and have to work the next day is not good. So I definitely needed to rethink a lot of things, and I recognize that as a self-destructive habit, because I can't deal with my emotions. So I need to learn to deal with my emotions, which is why I'm going to seriously get back to therapy. I need to make my appointment, but it's something I've decided I have to do, and there's no way around it because I can't cope. Not to a dangerous level, barring the drinking aside. It's me trying to find ways of help and I'm not getting it. It's me unconsciously calling out for help and not receiving it. So I need to go out and actively look for it, and I will be documenting that journey in some or other way. But yeah, I definitely know it's something I need help with because I can't keep trying to figure things out. I've tried so many avenues and none of them have helped or stuck. So I think this is the way forward. But one thing I do love about these types of things is that spending time alone makes you realize what you truly like, what you truly want, and whose company you actually enjoy being in. And me being on my own out and about was really nice. I remembered seeing so many different people in the restaurant, in the mall, couples, families, and I'm just like, that's nice. I have people at home that I go back to, but being out on my own is really nice. So I did mention wanting to go out by myself for coffee and things like that, which I'm definitely trying to stick to. Like I said, everything is a group effort. So if I'm going to go grab a cup of coffee, my mom tags along, but she goes to do a shopping while I sit alone, which is nice. But sometimes I need a little bit more alone time, if I can put it that way. So I'm definitely going to be working on that. This is definitely what I needed, and I would strongly encourage you to try and take some time out completely alone, by yourself, for yourself, and to figure out what you like to do on your own. And if that means making it no tech time for yourself, take a notebook with, take a reading book with, take a pillow and go lay down somewhere. Like, do what you need to do for yourself, and getting out in the fresh air is always a good idea. So try that, see how that goes, see what works for you. And if it's not your thing, fine. If it's sitting in your backyard baking in the sun for a little while, do that. But find what makes you happy on your own and enjoy that. It could be playing a game, like completely alone. Could be going to the movies alone. I want to start doing that. I love going to the cinema. Like, it's an experience that I love, and I'm actually working on something at the moment, trying to figure out which way is the best way. But that aside, find what works for you and your alone time, and do that for your own sake. That is it. That is the underline. That is the goal of the day. Find something for you that you enjoy and do that. Take yourself out and enjoy your day. Even if it's for a few hours, do that. You are worth it. You deserve it. You are enough. Go do that. That is all from me. I'm loving these short episodes. I keep just trying to keep it short and sweet. But yeah, aside from that, my week last week kind of started low and ended high. My niece had a 21st on Wednesday. We went to her on Thursday and we just had a brilliant time. And then Friday was a fairly good day. And what else happened? Yeah, I went out on Saturday. Like, it was a good week, you know, all things considered. But yeah, that is me in a nutshell. The song of this week. What is the song of this week? Give me a second. So I'm not sure if I used this one recently, because I think I may have. Or maybe the song just came out on my playlist very, very weird. But the song of this week is Bad Day by Daniel Powter. It's one of those throwback classics that everyone knows when they hear it. But the lyrics of the song are just too good. So I have no words. But that's all you need to do. Go listen to that song and you'll understand how my week went. Like, that sums up my week. It was just one long bad day. But I eventually got over it. So yeah, that was the song of the week. I will see you in next week's episode. I hope you keep being a better being. And I'll see you then. Love you. Bye.